In a surprise to nobody, Trump was recently doing his trademark weave where he rambled and mumbled about a bunch of stuff back and forth, none of it really connected or relevant, and eventually ending with whatever he was there for in the first place. While he was doing that, he glossed over some statements about Thailand and Cambodia, mainly taking credit for their ceasefire and claiming that he's already on top of the recent flare-ups. Now, if you only listen to mainstream liberal media and news, they bash Trump as having not done anything to stop these wars. And that's true in a sense, but it's definitely an oversimplified version of the narrative. And if you only listen to right-wing media, then Trump is the unstoppable president of peace who is keeping the entire world safe and conflict-free. Let's be very clear. Donald Trump did not stop any wars, but he and his cabinet did play a role in ushering the peace deal to the table. But in order to understand that, you really need to understand the conflict and kind of the resolution process that came out of that. Thailand and Cambodia have had border disputes for decades, but that literally means nothing in the grand scheme of Asia, let alone the world. Like, everyone in Asia has a border dispute. And for context, it started with a couple of firearms skirmishes at temples along the disputed borders between the two countries, involving their border militaries and starting with some issues with tourists. Now, as soon as fighting popped off in May the first time, both countries got in front and said they wanted nothing to do with an escalated conflict. Their military leaders met and agreed as well, but the people in the lower levels, the people in their armies in general, couldn't keep away from clash. So while the top was trying to keep the peace, the lower end was just spiraling out of control. Border closings happened, patrols ran into mines, a Thai prime minister was fired, eventually the Thai Air Force started striking military sites in Cambodia. Things are getting hot and heavy. Now, this brings us up to the first call. July 26th, Trump calls both leaders and allegedly he negotiates their total peace, right? That's what he says on Truth Social. Then, after some more clashes and other diplomatic actions, they get to an official peace deal in Malaysia where they all meet with the Malaysian Prime Minister as the regional witness and Trump as the international witness for the peace proceedings. And this is typically how peace proceedings go. Whenever they want to meet, they have to have a third party there to make sure that they actually agree on stuff and say, yes, this is what you all agreed to, and this is what we support. Neither Thailand nor Cambodia were outwardly calling for a war. And the militaries don't exactly need a reason to defend their homeland. The militaries are essentially doing a stand your ground, so while the leaders are calling for peace, their armies are seeking to gain strategic advantage and enact revenge. This means that even if the top brokers a deal, all it takes is one clash or disagreement for it to blow up. Bringing this all back to Trump. Yes, he was on some phone calls. As with all presidents when clashes between allies break out, he has the first duty to try and bring them to the negotiating table. But also so are other world leaders. Notably, the Malaysian Prime Minister was the only world leader that actually both agreed to speak with. Other than that, if these countries do not wish to reconcile, then they're not going to reconcile. That's just how it works. It seems that in this case, Trump simply threatened to remove economic ties. That's it. If they didn't stick with their peace deal, I'm going to remove economic ties. But these guys have already been negotiating on their own since the skirmishes began. This is how all this political stuff works out. Did Trump solve Thai-Cambodian peace? No, not really. But he did give a little extra pressure, which isn't exactly nothing. But hey, it looks a lot better when you simplify it on both sides. So let's just settle on the real Thai-Cambodian peace being the friends you made along the way.